Ladies and gentlemen, the late British Prime Minister Winston Churchill once said that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. This famous saying shows that fear affects people as much as they let it affect them. Fear only goes as far as you let it to go. And so, ladies and gentlemen, to address us on the topic, Fear Fosters Failure, I present to you a man who has been intimate with both the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, a justice of the peace, chartered financial consultant, author, consumer advocate, motivational consultant, television show host, and our presenter today, Dr. Godfrey McAllister.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Fear fosters failure. I like to dance a lot. And years ago, I would visit places that facilitate dancing whenever, especially at Christmas time. The office parties and so on. I would go to these parties and I would stand up in a corner looking for a female with whom to dance. Now, I never ever went with my own female, so I always go there looking to borrow somebody else's female for a dance. But I was afraid. I was scared. So I would stand in a corner, and I will look at all the women them that I want to look at. You're not already. We all have our various standards and so on. So all those who qualified in my book, I would look. If I see a man come even close to them, no way, write that one off. I have to see a woman that I approve of standing or sitting by herself for at least 15 minutes without any man approaching. Then I would send a little note, you know what I mean? With the, and I would look to see her reaction, and anyhow she don't give the right reaction immediately, I turn my head. You're mad? Me? Embarrassed? No, sir. Needless to say, the only time I ended up dancing was when it was time for soca. Then you can dance alone at that point. And I went to Barbados on several occasions, and on one occasion I was given a lesson because I was the guest speaker. Usually when I travel, I'm the guest speaker, okay. And I was the guest speaker there and so on. And they forgot I was the guest speaker. They had a party afterwards, and the hospitality was rotten. I traveled to this country alone to be the guest speaker. And when time comes for party, you would think that they would, set me up. You know what I mean? How can you treat your guest speaker with such scant regard? So when dance time comes, everybody pair off and dance. I mean, that's go on, I chill with a juice, you know what I mean? And I sip it slow, because I want it done, because I have to at least look as if the reason I'm not at the dance is because I'm drinking, so sipping the juice slow. Until the host for the show came by, and he said to me, "What, boy, you're not dancing?" That's the Bajan accent. It is my impression of the Bajan accent. I said, I like to dance, but I don't see anybody to dance with. And he said something to me I'll never forget. He said, "Man, if you want to drink milk, boy, you have to walk with your own cow." All right, so the point is that I am fearful. We say, it's amazing. Peter was walking on water. Remember that? He walked on water in a moment of mountaintop faith, or was it water, whatever, sea faith. And he was walking. He was moving in the power of his source. And then all of a sudden, he looked down. I said, "Oh, water me I walk on," and he immediately began to sink when fear stepped in. This is a mini series problem with that. We don't have time to go into details. But I can assure you that because fear had torment, it's very important to understand that we must not hug it up. So I'm afraid of something, lack of knowledge, get knowledge. I'm afraid of being rejected. Well, in my case, I justified my being afraid of asking the girl for the dance because I know that if I wanted to get any one of those girls to dance with me, if I can turn back plain, you think I couldn't get girls to dance with me? Of course I could. But then there's another factor, you see. I believe that I am responsible for the choices that I make. And I believe that the power that God has given me cannot be abused. And so, like the amazing Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, sorry. Thank you. I'm not as au fait with the Hulk as some of us are. The Incredible Hulk, I can't pretend to get vexed, you know. You have to really get me vexed. I can't fake it. You got to really get me in that position. Then, trust me, the shirt is going to start to bulge. So I realized that none of the women there belonged to me. I had no right to any of them, so I could not use the power. And that's why I ended up not getting any dances. And that was fine for me. Because I have a responsibility to use whatever God has given to me responsibly. So that was my justification, but the principle still applies. I was afraid. Of course, when the girls saw me, naturally, they smelt the fear. They saw the fear. And I was never handsome in the first place. So why would they be attracted? I felt the fear. In closing, I tell you a story. All my stories are true, so I don't have to say a true story. At the age of 14, my head was as big then as it is now. It's probably beginning to shrink now, probably. My body was probably half the size. So that's picture. A huge head. A good friend of ours used to call me God Sticks instead of Godfrey. And I used to stutter. You know what stutter is? No exaggeration. And there was a particular girl that I liked. Her name was Joy. Now, I hadn't written this book yet, okay? As a matter of fact, that story is in the book. But I remember deciding that all the boys in the class, especially one named Haywood, face boy, handsome guy, gold chain, father have money, wasn't bright in class, but who cares? And all the girls were just fawning over this guy. And I figured, boy, it's time that some girl fawn over me too.